Hello, beautiful souls. So we briefly touched on it one day last week. Ascension. It is a not as much talked about topic these days. In some spiritual communities and spiritual circles, there has been quite a bit of talk about ascension, that there is a collective ascension that is on the precipice, that is just beginning. All that is true. It is, in my experience, on an individual basis. So it takes our own internal work. So it's come to me lately from the universe that there's different kinds of ascension. And this is the part that is very rarely talked about, very rarely, if at all. There is ascension in regards to up-leveling our own personal individual consciousness. Maybe it's from 3D, maybe it's from 2D to 3D, maybe it's from 3D to 4D, maybe 4D to 5D. Maybe why even put a label on it? Because it's kind of like what probably most Earth humans do, is they like to label things, which kind of constricts things in themselves, although it helps us to see a little bit about, okay, 3D, well, what is that? That's this wall, that's behind me. What is 4D? Well, 4D might be a little bit more consciousness. Maybe going from 3D, going to work every day, 4D, being a conspiracy theorist. Maybe going to 5D where you're beyond conspiracy theory because it doesn't matter. You become neutral to it all. And then you can get into 6D, 7D, 8D, 9D. What do you do then? You're just rising above it all. Then with certain abilities and presence, what comes with that? Responsibility. What does that mean? Well, it means we have to be here for each other. Holding space is kind of a weird term. Being patient, being accepting, being forgiving, being unifying, being peaceful, being calm, being meditative, not taking the invitation to arguments or potentially negative situations or negative environments or around negative people. Just kind of rising above it all. So what do the bee products do here at Liquid Gold Honey? They helped us to raise our frequency. What does that do? Taking a little bit of the bee products every day, especially bee pollen concentrate, helps us to raise our consciousness. Why? Because bees are higher frequency than us. That's how bees fly. Most of us don't. And mathematically, their wing size is too small to propel into flight a creature of this weight. So then how does their flight occur? Vibratory frequency. They vibrate, levitate, wings used to steer and such. They continue the buzzing sound, buzz, creates this energetic field around themselves. They basically float from flower to flower. Like I've said many times, I call it organic quantum mechanics. Their frequency is so high, they use their frequency to fly. Anyway, the point is their frequency, for the most part, is higher than ours. So when they make their beautiful bee products, and we don't add any sugar to it or don't add any heat, keeps those frequencies perfectly intact, just as the bees made them. We ask the bees permission, hey little bees, can we please take some of that light and love from you. They're like, okay, but leave some for us. We put it in the jar. Et voila. And, you know, you're able to, every day, preferably with a wooden spoon, put a little bit of these, we get these jars out to the beautiful people here at Liquid Gold Honey all around the world. And you're able to put a little bit of this beautiful bee buzz, this beautiful frequency of light, that the light baked the flowers, the bees captured that light, brought it to the beehive. We asked the bees permission and then put it in the jar, so we were basically eating light. And like one of our special people that help us with the business, bee programmed lattice structure that is input intact perfectly in all the products that we sell here at Liquid Gold Honey, liquidgold.store. So you're getting really special products from us. What do? Well, they help us to ascend in the definition that we were just referring to previously. Help us eat a little bit every day, preferably with a wooden spoon, because it's a neutral frequency, helps to keep those bee frequencies perfectly intact. So when you eat it, those bee buzzing frequencies are in it. Gets us buzzing. Not only does it give us energy and a smile on our face because it's antidepressing, it uplifts us energetically, consciously, eating a little bit every day. Just a little bit, just like a spoon. Just do a spoon, whether for you it's a teaspoon, tablespoon. That's about an average amount for a person, and helps us to elevate our frequency, helps us to elevate our consciousness, which is part of the ascension. The ascension is on an individual basis. So if you're sitting here waiting for something to happen, stop waiting and start doing the work. What does that mean? Well, for one, eating the bee products from Liquid Gold Honey, liquidgold.store. What else does that mean? Might mean daily meditation. What else does it mean? Might mean daily qigong. What else does it mean? Might mean daily yoga. What does it mean? What else? It might mean just slowing down our breath, keeping our tongue gently resting at the top of our mouth, breathing through our nose, keeping our hands either in prayer position or a torsion field where the fingers are almost touching but not, which is even creates this torsion energy, which is very powerful. This is the second most powerful. That's why people like go to church actually, and maybe priests and saints put their hands together. What does it do? It closes the circuit in our energetic field. What does that do? Empowers us. We just focus on our breath, breathing slow as possible, maybe 7 to 10 second or more slow in breaths. You have some time aside every day. Nice and slow out breaths. With the tongue gently resting on the top of the mouth. I get reports that there's highly advanced extraterrestrials, far more advanced than us. Every day, they take time, they put it aside, they slow down, they focus on their breath. Maybe it could be considered meditation, or it could be considered breath work, or either one or both. Slowing down the breath, minimum 7 seconds, equal out breaths, equal length in breaths. What does that do? It helps us to be clear, helps us to be focused, helps us to be calm, helps us to stay centered, helps us to tap and stay tapped into all of our innate psychic abilities and all of our abilities, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually. So, to continue on this beautiful topic of ascension, yes, most likely Jesus ascended. I wasn't there, but another form of ascension is when you do so many good things, you've learned so many lessons, maybe you've helped so many people, maybe you just have dealt with all of your stuff in your life, and you had darkness in your body and in your heart, and maybe you You worked through it all. And maybe you just want to do good now. You just want to be good now. It's different for everyone. It's personal. Anyway, the point is when you do good with yourself and with everyone, you actually have the opportunity, if you want to leave this physical form, this planet, with your body, like Jesus did. So it's one thing ascending to another level of consciousness. This doesn't just happen on this planet, by the way. This happens all over the galaxy and all over the universe. And some planets in this galaxy and other galaxies, it's in their tribe, it is considered the highest honor to ascend with your body. I'm not suggesting this to anyone. I'm not saying this is the point of life, because then why did we come to a physical existence in the first place? You know, we came to a physical existence so we could do physical things, so we could build things, create things, maybe learn some lessons, maybe clear some karma, maybe help some people. Why do you think angels, some of them, come back to this planet and just give? Maybe they might take on a physical form. Maybe they might look like a human for a little bit. Maybe they might stay in etheric form. But anyway, the point is, maybe they ascended, and maybe they once lived on this planet or another planet in this area or beyond. And they did so many good things throughout their course of lifetimes or that particular life that they ascended, whether it's with their body or after their life ended, where they cleared their karma, they worked through all their stuff, and then they just wanted to come back and volunteer. And some of us are doing that in a physical form anyway. And some of them do it in a physical form or an etheric form. Some of them come back and just appear. Maybe it's an angel. I don't know how all that works. Maybe I should say I don't remember. Remembering is another special thing. That's why we came here not remembering. Although the more that you work on your stuff, maybe it's fasting. Maybe it's hugging trees. Maybe it's going in nature. You start to tap in to the source. Stay tapped in. Stay tapped into everybody. You might even start to remember some things. Little fragments. Might get little pictures. It's different for everybody. It's fascinating and it's super interesting. We all have different purposes. We all have different paths. There's 1,000 ways up the mountain. So it is super interesting, and there are different forms of ascension. So yes, the bee products at Liquid Gold Honey help and are aiding in this ascension on an individual basis, collectively, although it's really up to us on an individual basis to do the work every day, whether it's meditating, whether it's taking time to slow our breath down. Maybe it could be taking time to read a story to your child, or taking your child to some activity or extracurricular activity, or maybe it could be doing something for yourself. Maybe it's playing a sport that you've always wanted to do or been putting off, or a hobby. Or maybe it's going in nature. It could be, self-care and self-love. For you, it could be reading a book. Maybe you haven't read a book in quite some time. Just putting the time aside for yourself. There's so many things that we can do for ourselves and for the people around us. Maybe it could just be listening because someone really needs to talk. So maybe it's up to all of us to figure out our own individual paths and incorporate some form of daily daily ascension practices into our life. Because instead of going down in consciousness, why not every day work on going up a little bit, raising our consciousness, being helpful, being kind, smiling, being present, practicing being conscious at all moments and aware. Even staying the same might be considered going down. Why? Because this planet is going, and the solar system is going through the photonic belt in the galaxy. Even the Schumann resonance is rising at an exponential pace. So if you stay the same, that might be considered decreasing in consciousness, while that things are around us, even the planet itself is slowly increasing its frequency. So I would suggest incorporating some daily ascension practices, whatever that is for you. You might want to just feel into it, breathe into it, ask your higher self, what can I do every day? Maybe figure out a regimen. Maybe start with one thing. Maybe get that going. Maybe add another thing. Get that going. Maybe add this one other thing. And you get yourself a nice little daily routine. Of course, incorporated with liquid gold honey, all liquid gold bee products at liquidgold.store. We love you so much, to your highest frequency, most loving, uplifted, up-leveled life ever. I love you so much.